Welcome to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder and attorney at Meldon Law. Welcome to the show. We got a terrific guest with us who's going to tell us a lot about what's going on in Ocala and Marion County and how we can help some of our veterans who are in need. And it's going to be really good. A couple other things we want to go over. What's going on in the community. The Gator basketball team is doing great. They narrowly lost to a terrific Kentucky team Saturday, January 6th, and it was fun in the beginning of the game because we were handily beating them. And we were beating them in the second half, and then the wheels fell off the last 3 minutes. But we lost by 2 points. It was a valiant effort, and the Gators are going to surprise people because we have 4 top-notch players that are 6'10" and taller, and they really dominate on the boards, and it's fun to watch. It's a great team to watch. We've got a good balance, and the Gators are coming on strong. We're actually giving away some packages for the basketball games coming up on our Facebook page, Meldon Law. We have a Fan Fest January 27th at the O-Dome from 10:30 till 12. And you can go spin to win. We had a great time this past week. Tons of people showed up because they wanted to win, and everybody wins some Gator swag. So come and have a really good time. One of the other things that's going on in the very same building, the arena, the O-Dome, is the Lady Gator Gymnastics. For those of you that don't know, the gymnastics team is loaded with potential Olympic stars. It's the Gator gymnastic team came in second last year in the whole country to Oklahoma. They lost in the finals by 1/10 of 1 point, which in gymnastics means it was pretty darn close. And the Gators are rocking again this year. We don't have Trinity Thomas, but we got lots of other stars that are stepping up, and you're going to see an amazing show. Of all the events, football, basketball, baseball, the number one demand for tickets is for gymnastics. And I think the reason is because we have such high caliber talent here, and it's Olympic caliber. There's 5 meets, however, only 3 of them are with SEC competition, and the SEC is really incredible. So we've got some giveaways for every game, they call them matches, For every match, we have some great giveaways. We do the giveaways on our Facebook page, Meldon Law and Friends. I'm sorry, Meldon Law. Just go to Meldon Law Facebook, and you'll see lists of all the different competitions that occur. I think the first match is January 12th, and there's another home match January 26th. So check it out. If y'all haven't been to a gymnastics event, do it. It's a blast. So we're giving away free tickets for basketball, free tickets for the gymnastics events, and we're coming into the baseball season pretty soon, so pay attention to that. Couple other things. The law firm wants to thank everybody out there for helping Meldon Law grow in 2023. We're really, we had our best year ever. We helped more people with put their lives back together after they were involved in serious crashes, and we take that responsibility very seriously. We love our clients, and we rely on our clients to help us get good referrals from other folks after we've worked with them and helped them resolve their personal injury cases. Many times they're life-changing. They change the dynamic of the family because most folks, we get by, we've got everything coordinated in a way to, take it from, one day to another. And when all of a sudden that's turned upside down by a crash and you lose your car, you're injured, you're going to doctors, you got all this stuff on top of what your ordinary routine was, it can really throw a wrinkle in the family dynamic. So we take, we're aware of that, we take it seriously, and we try to help. What I can tell you is that without doubt, we have the best team members in North Central Florida as far as getting great results for you. We did statistics, and we know that we get double on our cases compared to the big box firms on average. So that's an interesting statistic. Why is it that we get more? I believe it's because of the quality of our team members and the attention that we pay to each and every case. So if you're ever in need, call Meldon Law. I promise you you'll get the Ritz-Carlton experience as far as our team members and how they interact with everybody that needs help. We're getting ready to go to our first break. And again, I want to thank everybody for an amazing 2023. We had a blast, and it was really terrific having Meldon Law and Friends as our podcast allow us to bring to you people within the community who are doing important things. The folks that we try to bring on will help make you aware of, number one, what good things are going on, and number two, what can you do to get involved and help those causes that resonate with you. So we're going to be back in 3 minutes on Meldon Law and Friends.
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Cary allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there. And I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
I was driving behind a lady, and very suddenly she moved out of the way. There was a log laying in the road, and when I hit my brakes, I went on top of the log. I had 2 herniated discs. I just haven't been the same since. Jeffrey Meldon fought for me all the way. Him and his team really went there for me. Throughout the whole lawsuit, he made sure that my bills was paid. It was never no whenever I called him and asked him for something.
Call Meldon Law right now.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran a red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon because you're going to need help, and they will help you.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Hey, Sammy, look who's there. Say hi.
Hey!
You again!
Meldon Law, Jeffrey speaking.
Somebody else hit us!
Here we go again. Welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. I've got a great friend with us today, Jason White, who is with a group, Warrior Wheels Foundation, and we're going to get into more of that later on. But I'd like to say hello. How you doing today, Jason?
Good. And thank you so much for having me on here and just being a part of this and, making new friends, right?
I know. And it's cool. We're here at Spurrier's Grill.
I never been here before, so I walked in and I'm thinking this is a nice high class and sports. If you can't get a better mix than that.
Yeah, museum and great food. I'm telling you, they really been working hard. They've been open 2 years here now.
Wow. And they got this set up in here, so you
Yeah,
can't
so
beat
we
it.
have our own podcast room. So behind us are all the helmets that Steve Spurrier has accumulated over the years.
So he's a collector for sure.
Well, he's got a connection. He either coached the team or played on the team.
Yeah,
for
there you go.
Every one of those helmets up there. So they aren't just a collect. It isn't just like collecting helmets. It's like I was involved with this team.
Exactly.
Okay? So it's pretty impressive. Anyhow, Jason, I know that you're a veteran. I'd like to start off by just kind of telling your story. Tell us a little bit about what your experience was as a vet, and we'll move on from there.
Yeah, so, I tell a lot of people I like to, kind of start from the beginning and really when it comes down to it is, I'm a Marine of 10 years. I went in 2004 and got out 2014, but, my life and my journey didn't really start there, right? I'm a foster kid too. So, I had that as a part of me, and that really, I would say, led me and helped design me into who I was, because it was a big part of my life. And I had amazing people who adopted me when I was 5, who happened to be a fellow Marine, my father. So, and then, I had that life, and then was raised by a really military family, supportive, patriotic family. And there's nothing else for me to do, but, I got to be the best of the best, right? So, and right after high school, I moved here to Florida in the middle of high school, basically, but I went right in the Marine Corps. There was no other choice. I wanted my hair cut short. I wanted to have those dress blues on. And I tell people this, and it's true. At points in me, a lot of people ask, why did you go join the military? Why did you join the Marine Corps? A part of it was I thought I was going to run away from the things that, affected me my whole life. But the biggest thing the Marine Corps taught me was facing that stuff head on. And that's been a driving factor and the success of just the things I've been able to be a part of, and myself, my family, my children. So, that's really, that goes to there. Then, after a couple of years of training, not even really, went right overseas.
Where did you serve at?
Iraq. Well, I was actually stationed in 210, which was Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. So all my 210 and Marines out there in Camp Lejeune, we're better than California. I'd like to say that. But yeah, I deployed with them. Amazing group of people. A lot of them I still have. We communicate today. I deployed a second time with them, and that's when I got injured. So I was
What was your experience like? Before you got injured, what was the day-to-day routine like?
Being deployed, it was consistently active. You're on patrols, or you don't have much downtime. You're in you're in the FOB, or you're on patrols. When you're in the Marine Corps, when I was motor T, when I went in, it was constant training for deployment. That back then it was 2004. We're on consistent rotations for deployment, and so many units were. So it was, we'll work up, training for deployment, deploy, come back from deployment, couple months maybe of a little bit of just downtime, and then right back into another rotation of training, right back to deployment, So
What are some of the stressors that you have to encounter when you're stationed overseas in Iraq?
There's so many. The stimulus is, you're trained. We're trained to always have our head on a swivel. But, the stressors, I could label a lot of things, from being concerned about, the combat situations you might come into. But I'll tell you stuff that a lot of people don't talk about is the consistency of having to shut off your feelings about what's at home, about what's going on at home or who's at home. And because that causes a separation in our mentality as veterans from when we come home, it makes it really hard to be home, right? So combat's a huge stressor, and there's so many things that come with it. But a lot of the things that led me into the mental health and helping and grow programs and treatment was realizing that there's so many other things that really cause those variables of our interactions when we come home and how we may be. I didn't have it very easy when I came home, and I didn't make it easy on myself either. So, I say I fell on my face.
Well, in when you're deployed and you're in an active military situation, the skills necessary to survive in that situation are much different than, say, coming back to Ocala and hanging out, right?
Yeah, Ocala, slow Ocala as they call it. I love it, and it's growing fast, but it is. Luckily, though, coming back to this community, I had so much support. I couldn't throw a rock, and you cannot throw a rock around here without being next to another veteran or first responder or a family member of, or just a simple patriot, right? This is a really amazing, supportive community with a lot of organizations or just groups of people that are there to support you. And I had a lot of support even through my hardest times.
And I think that's a good point, because your mission right now is to make sure that others have that same kind of support.
Absolutely. Yeah. Warrior Wheels is an amazing opportunity I got to be a part of. And it started, unfortunately, with the loss of a close friend in the community, became part of the 22 a day, committed suicide. And
what, the 22 a day, that's how many veterans?
Yeah, that's been like a promotable statement that's been kind of out there for years about the 22 veterans a day that commit suicide, and there's a lot of different talk on the different variables of those numbers, which it is, there's a lot of unreported numbers, but in terms, saying that he became part of the 22.
What was your state of mind when you returned to the States?
I was confused. I didn't want to get out of the Marine Corps. So because of my injuries, and don't get me wrong, I'm blessed, I was medically retired. But I just didn't know what else to do. I didn't have any mission I didn't want to go work at a glass company that I worked at. I didn't want to work at the concrete company that I went to work at. It wasn't stimulating enough. And I knew that I was destined to be able to at least do more things. I'd rather go, own my own business and mow lawns than, build concrete all day. At least I have something I can run as a whole structure. I can be a part of, or it can be a part of me, right? And it was hard to find that with community businesses or just kind of getting back in the workforce.
So
Really
tell us a little bit of what you did getting back from Iraq, and I understand that you were injured, so it wasn't your choice to return. But they said, "Son, you put in 10 years. You've done more than enough, and you're injured, so you need to go back home." So that in and of itself must have been a huge kind of adjustment for you.
It was, because I knew as soon as my reenlistment came that I was stationed in Quantico, Virginia, that I knew that my career was about over, because they would not send me to Quantico, Virginia, if my career wasn't over. And I had a couple choices on where I wanted to go, but it was the best thing for me. And I think, the people that helped make that decision during my reenlistment, because I was reenlisted, I signed reenlistment and then I got injured. So however that got changed, I think it was, the best for me. I was not physically all the way processed. I was hit by a double stack anti-tank mine. I didn't lose any limbs, but, being right on top of that explosion and the TBI, the traumatic brain injury I suffered, it wasn't easy to transition,
It's interesting you bring up, TBI, because as personal injury attorneys, people that are in bad crashes experience TBI all the time.
And they don't even recognize it.
Well, it's invisible, right? It's the invisible injury, right? Because when after World War I and World War II, they called it shell shock, I think, right? And then football players, the NFL players and other players, there is a big lawsuit about traumatic brain injury from being hit over and over and over again. And I think the NFL and college sports and high school sports have responded to that.
Absolutely. It affects everything about your life, your cognitive abilities. I didn't know that I was stuttering when I was talking. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that when I would walk around a room and I needed to go around the corner of the room, I felt like I was going around it, but I would consistently hit my left side. So somehow there was distortion in my perception. And that got better, yes, over time. But I also spent a couple solid years going through counseling and treatment, particularly for traumatic brain injury and PTSD. So I was able to kind of heal in ways, but it still affects me, of course. My memory's not the greatest.
Well, you're doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, I write a lot of stuff down now.
I know.
It still looks like it's written in crayon.
Hey, so do I. But anyhow, no, it's interesting because TBI, PTSD, I think is all related, and that since it's invisible, right? It's different than, you break your arm, you got a broken arm, you go to the doctor and they, put you back together and hopefully the arm works pretty good and stuff like that. But it's physical, you can see it and you kind of know what it is.
Exactly.
With TBI and post-traumatic stress disorder and all that, I think now people recognize that it's not just something made up.
It's not, and a lot of people don't realize either, depending on the severity of the TBI or the location of the trauma to the brain, it can affect these different behaviors, and someone can just not be the same. Frontal lobe damage, their cognitive decision-making choices are majorly affected. So you got, that's where everybody gets this, they came back different. Well, in many ways, they are 100%.
Well, look, our lives are based on our experiences in life, right?
Absolutely.
You got lucky at age 5, right? You found somebody that loved you and was, took you in and, you became part of their family.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
Every foster child gets that.
No, they don't. No, so many of them age out. I've been blessed along my journey, even through the most struggling times I've had and the trauma that I've dealt with, which is why I continue to do what I do with the crisis intervention and the with Warrior Wheels Foundation, is because there was beside all this trying to figure out a life and business and do what I'm going to do, I needed to figure out a way to stay active and culturally, stay within that community and have a purpose and mission. And being a Marine, I had a given mission. And that's what that was, Semper Fi, always faithful, you know what I mean? Do or die, that's just what it is. And I'll always be a Marine, but good friends, fellow veterans that I've been through treatment with or helped grow treatment programs, and we learn from each other, they consistently, say that creating and having that new mission is what drives you. And that really what drove me was kind of, how can I give back? And from building the crisis intervention programs or handling crisis intervention for the community and counties surrounding, and to the stuff like Warrior Wheels, which is a little more fun, and we get to go on bike rides and give away vehicles and raise funds. So,
well, let's talk about it. So Tell us about your transition from, coming back, spending a couple of years kind of, readjusting and trying to survive.
Yeah.
And how did you get involved with, Warrior Wheels and the other things that you're doing?
That's great because it really stemmed out of being lost, not knowing what to do at dead-end jobs, being also like have an entrepreneurial spirit and motivated for other things, but I fell on my face. But the thing was, I fell on my face in my own struggles. I was already volunteering from amazing organizations in the community in Ocala. I was on the board for a local organization. We put a new veterans building and resource building in Ocala, and I was donating my time. I met some other great individuals out of the villages, David from Combat Vets to Careers, and I was luckily to kind of be forced and brought in and, hey, come on, let's go. You ain't got nothing else to do. So volunteer my time to be a part of the community and giving back and seeing what these organizations were doing. But again, I fell on my face through that. I had a hard divorce and a hard structure of, really in the midst of being lost, and then that bridge of gap. When I fell on my face and I needed support, I had the same exact people that came to me and said, let's go, we're going to make this happen. We're going to pick you up, you're going to pick yourself up, and that's exactly what happened. So that led to me actually going out to Texas, and I was at a treatment program called Camp Hope, and it was designed by combat vets for combat vets. And then from there, it was magic. I'd never dealt with treatment. I've been in mental health and in these capacities for years in different areas, but it was nothing like that. I never experienced that kind of support and treatment so internal, which led to me basically supporting their organization and growing chapters, and then, helping a sister organization of theirs, growing that, while I was doing crisis intervention. And I took a call for a local veteran, Terry.
Oh, so you were helping with crisis intervention.
Yeah, I was literally I was their chapter, director here for the foundation, and through the county, if they need support during, times of vets or first responders in crisis, I'm there. Whether they get the call first or I get it first, I'm there to prevent the suicides, to do it de-escalations, and then get them directly to treatment. Well, we took a call, and fortunately, Terry passed. Terry's family wanted that bike to be given away, and like I said before, they asked me to continue to be a part of that. So at that time, I was pretty much, healed in a capacity. I was able to start giving back, and it was a lot to do crisis intervention. It still is. We still do the programming. We have a sister program with Project Rebirth that handles a lot of our treatment access. But, we just decided to kind of grow it and then grow it. So from one vehicle to a motorcycle to 14 plus vehicles to now our support with Soldier Girl Coffee Company, with the Soldier Girl Coffee Company presents Coffee, Cars, and Cigars with Warrior Wheels Festival, May 18th in the villages at the Polo Field. We're able to now give back, and this is one of our biggest events, supporting Villagers for Veterans, Ashley's House. And it hasn't, I tell people it has nothing to do with me. I'm a conduit. I was just being able to be around amazing people that help make amazing things happen. And it's a way to be a part of the community and expand through, some very serious programming and some very fun programming.
Well, let's talk about it. Okay. So we've got Warrior Wheels Foundation.
Oh, yeah.
So let's tell everybody who's watching and listening what the program is.
So Warrior Wheels Foundation, you can visit it on mywarriorwheels.com. Thank you, Steve Condit from Simply Web. He's donating that opportunity for us to get the web recreated. But we donate. Our purpose is we're dedicated to providing the freedom of the ride. We donate motorcycles and other vehicles to vets and first responders while raising support and awareness for other amazing causes. And then within that, we have that crisis program where people can call and we can provide them the services, or the county and the state, essentially, representatives, EMT, fire departments, they can call us to help assist with the treatment access, the de-escalation services, crisis intervention responses, and stuff like that.
So whenever there's a vet who's in need,
yeah,
right? Your mission is to help them get through their crisis.
Right away, and no delay. I mean, if we have to, we have other amazing organizations that we team up with. So if someone's in Orlando and I'm the closest one, I'm driving right away. If someone's in Ocala, I'm the closest one. If someone's in like Tampa or something, Brian Sims or something from Project Reap, he's right there, right? If I don't care if you're across the country, we're gonna call our partners, and someone's gonna be at your door within minutes. You know, there's be representatives, and we work with a lot of amazing organizations to kind of fill that gap between being on the response. So.
Well, let's talk about what are some of the things you do when, say, a vet's just despondent because of financial situation or not able to find work, things like that. Is there anything that you can do to help?
Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of organizations. You go online and fill out a request for resources. Absolutely. We can get you those resources, supporting organizations to do that. The number one thing we're going to do is we're going to sit down with you face to face, especially if it's dire need, right? I mean, if you're wanting to hurt yourself, you know, I hate to say it like that, but that's the truth. We're going to be at your doorstep, period. We're going to talk it through, figure out the right route. But that's the first thing we do. First thing we do is face-to-face communication. Let's build a plan. Let's talk. Let's banter. Let's learn about each other. And what is the best route? Because, you know, if I don't know you, you don't know me, and you don't know the therapist you're just got an appointment with, you got to talk it through to figure it out.
So
first.
what agencies are out there in Marion County in particular that help folks that, you know, they need jobs, they need a place to live, they're, you know, lost?
Absolutely. You know, one amazing group I like to really shout out is VetNet. When it comes to business and employment services, VetNet is there for our veterans in the community to not only, you know, be entrepreneurial spirited, but access to employment outside of just, you know, go get a job. Here, let me connect you. Let me network with you, right?
Make an introduction.
Exactly.
So that when you're going in there, and whether you get the job or not, the folks are going to be engaging and nice to you and give you a listen.
And you know what? That's the thing. I think it was a huge separation between COVID did a great thing for our veteran culture, veteran first responder culture. So many people operated independently, but when you force them to stay inside, now they're forced to communicate to get outside. And when they did that, they built huge networks of individuals, especially within our culture of vets and first responders to network with and partner with. And you know, right now there's so many. That's the mission, though. For a lot of organizations, so many of us are tying together and saying, how do we support each other or be there to support you in your program? And that's one of the things we did with Project Rebirth.
So I want to read this to our listeners. The Warrior Wheels Foundation is dedicated to providing freedom for veterans and first responders by donating motorcycles and vehicles, as well as raising support, awareness, and funds for other amazing causes. And you're now the president of Warrior Wheels, and that you're the owner of the Warrior brand. And the Warrior brand consists of the Warrior Line podcast, the Warrior Rethrift, and the Warrior Service Corps. And these companies are dedicated to providing employment and business ownership opportunities to all of the vets. In particular, you focus in on Marion County and the villages.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Marion County was, you know, where we first kind of started with that. And now we're expanding and opening our chapters out to all parts of Florida and Texas and you know, really kind of pushing that out there. We want to really provide more support.
Well, I know you have this big event coming up. Let's talk about the event and what folks that are listening can do to help.
Well, by all means, we have a amazing sponsorship and community partnership package that is, you know, reflects the event and what we're going to be doing there. But we're shooting for 500 plus vehicles from cars, trucks, Jeeps, motorcycles. So yes, it's the Villages. So golf cart is a plus.
They have some snazzy golf carts there, man.
We got cool classes for the golf carts to be in. You know, we have some amazing bands. We got some veterans coming in to do some music too. And then we're going to be donating a vehicle to a local female veteran. Again, all the funds are raised to support Villagers for Veterans Ashley's House and that beautiful program. And Carrie, again, Soldier Go Coffee is partnered to be able to help make this, this happen. So,
okay, so let's tell everybody, where's it going to be?
The Villages Polo Fields.
Okay.
May 18th.
Right. What day of the week is it?
Oh,
Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah.
There you go. It should be Saturday.
That's an easy guess.
I'm a Marine, though. If it's not written down. Absolutely.
And so you're gonna have like a big festival with music, food.
The military heritage, Florida Military Heritage Group is going to help support the old military heritage displays, vehicles. We're shooting for over 300 plus vendors, and like I said, the 500 vehicles. And if we, do it and jump it out, we're going to do it annually to continue to support.
So who should folks contact if they have some ideas about helping or they want to get involved?
By all means, we appreciate it. If you reach out to mywarriorwheels.com or, I'm Jason White. You can find me on there on Facebook, or, I tell people my number is 352-789-5909. It's across the board. It's direct. I do that for crisis intervention. But you call me, you get a hold of the foundation. There'll be fresh information up at the end of the week for all the registrations, but sponsors can email us or directly communicate.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's May's a great month to do a big party, right?
Yeah, exactly, on a huge field, right?
Yeah, and you were telling me this is the first time that you've done anything on that big field.
Oh yeah, it was a great opportunity to connect with them, and we're finalizing our last details. But it's a great opportunity. It's between polo seasons, so
it's a polo field.
Yeah.
So I didn't know polo season. They have a winter and a summer season.
Yeah. Something like that.
Well, anyhow, let's get everybody focused in on helping out. I think that it's really important work. Meldon Law has been sponsoring Veterans Making a Difference for the last 4 years here.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
In Alachua County. And it's, I go out and meet with the vets, and a lot of times it's folks like you who are heading up organizations that are really doing things that are just amazing. We were up in Columbia County, the Lake City area, and this guy it put together this amazing fishing tournament every year, and he had like 300 or 400 people going out for a great day of fishing, and everything was volunteered. The fishing boats and everything was done by volunteer work, and they had more demand than they could fill. Another vet Another vet was, doing food giveaways every week.
Wow.
And people were lined up, up and down the street for the food giveaways. So I want to commend you for what you're doing, because as a vet, you understand the need, and you're in a better position than anyone to really talk with vets, I think, and explain to them there's a way through this.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely.
And so I want to thank you very much, Jason White, with the Warrior Wheels Foundation. Again, the website is
mywarriorwheels.com.
mywarriorwheels.com. Don't forget it. Thank you, Jason. And Meldon Law is going to be involved and help you with the big party in May. So thank you very much for being on Meldon Law
Thank
and
you
Friends.
Very much for having me.
Okay.
Semper Fi.
Say goodbye to everybody. See you later.